Greetings to all and welcome to the discussion of the Parsha of this week, which is Behaaloscha. And the motto of this week's discussion will be, nothing is ever lost. And it's probably the most inspiring message the Torah really has to offer. And it is embodied in the commandment introduced in this week's Sidra, Behaaloscha. And the mitzvah is called the Pesach Sheni. Pesach, of course, means the Passover offering. And Sheni means the second one, the second Passover offering. So you can probably see where this is going. But let's just add that to our Hebrew vocabulary list. Pesach Sheni. Can we all say that? And just to brush up a little bit, the year that the children of Israel went out of Egypt, the Exodus, it was on the 14th day of the first month, which we now call Nisan. They were commanded to bring the very first Pesach offering, which was a lamb roasted. At that time, there was no consecrated common area for offerings, and so each one did it in their own household. And this was connected with the commandment of Brit Milah, and in a sense, it was the beginning of the collective conversion process that culminated in the giving of the Torah 50 days later. The Jews arrive at Mount Sinai on approximately 6 weeks after they leave Egypt. They encamp at the foot of the mountain on a Rosh Chodesh Sivan, the first day of the third month. And 6 days later, 50 days after the Pesach, they receive the Torah, the holiday of Shavuot. But they did not leave that encampment. They stayed there for almost a full year. And a year later, in the second month of Iyar, the 20th day, recorded in this week's Sidra, they then move the camp. So they were near Mount Sinai for almost a year. But in that following year, on the first day of Nisan, they are given a commandment from God about offering Pesach again. And it's in chapter 9. Hashem spoke to Moses in the wilderness, Sinai, in the second year from their exodus from the land of Egypt, in the first month, saying, the children of Israel shall make the Pesach offering in its appointed time. On the 14th day of this month in the afternoon shall you make it in its appointed time. According to all its decrees and laws shall you make it. So there's going to be, folks, a repeat of the Pesach offering. And this is going to be a year later. Moses spoke to the children of Israel to make the Pesach offering. They made the Pesach offering in the first month, on the 14th day of the month, in the afternoon, in the wilderness of Sinai, according to everything that Hashem had commanded Moses. So the children of Israel did. So they get a second time. This is not the Pesach Sheni. This is the regular Pesach offering, a commandment that would later, when they enter Israel, be done every single year. And here is the interesting part. I'll lay the ground now for the story and the profound philosophical lesson of the Pesach Sheni. Verse 6. There were men who had been contaminated by a human corpse and could not make the Pesach offering on that day, because one needs to be, of course, ritually pure to bring an offering. So they approached Moses and Aharon on that day. Those men said to him, "We are contaminated through a human corpse. Why should we be diminished by not offering Hashem's offering in its appointed time among the children of Israel? Why should we be less?" In the Hebrew, it's much more rich. The expression is Lamat Nigara. Why should we be less than the others? Moses said to them, "Stand, and I will hear what Hashem will command you." And so, in verse 9, Hashem spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, saying, if any man will become contaminated, ritually impure, through a human corpse, or if they will be on a distant road, meaning far from where the Pesach offering needs to be offered, whether you or your generations, he shall make the Pesach offering for Hashem in the second month, on the 14th day, in the afternoon shall he make it, with matzahs and bitter herbs shall he eat it." And that, friends, is the commandment of the Pesach Sheni. It's a second chance. If someone was ritually impure, and they were not fit to bring it in the proper time, or they were far away, then we are told that when a month later comes around, they get a second chance. And the impediments to bringing the first offering are impurity, which means contact with death, and this in a sense represents an interruption in our connection to the source of life, or being b'derech rechoka, on a far path.